being fat sucks. But getting fat rules. And that's one of God's great.
I enjoy the losing. I'll be honest. I like the losing weight process. I like turning my body into not necessarily a chemistry set, though that is part of it, but also like a bit of a science experiment. You know, it's almost like having an ant farm and watching it do its thing. But you gamify it, and it's really it can keep you motivated and make it really fun because it's when I like to do things like 100%, and really see what I want to squeeze those half of a percentiles out is on like 8 different categories and be at 105% where no man has gone before type shit, you know, while being healthy. That, you know, when I'm losing weight, I'll turn the AC in my house way down because I know I'll shiver a little bit and I'll get cold. I know I'll burn calories that way. I'll take those hour-long hot baths that burn. I read somewhere they burn as much as like an hour-long walk. And people be like, why don't you walk an hour? I already walked 1 hour. I didn't want to walk 2. So I sat in a bath for the second hour and it burns as many calories as the walk. Just anything.
Yeah. I mean, once you're on the path of losing weight and getting fitter and you can see the first like 5% improvement physically, then it gets addicting and it's fun. It's like when you're hitting your workouts every time and you start to your muscles are always popping. Like you feel good.
You quit. The thing that'll make you quit and give up is not being able to have results that you can like hold in your hand. Like you need to be able to see the result. It needs to be physical. It can't just be like, I guess I'm looking a little bit. No, it's fucking the same thing. You know, like if you can't see it, you need to be able to quantify it somehow. If you can quantify it, then you can keep motivated, or at least I can.
When you do that, what are you doing? Are you just whole 30?
It depends.
Are you like trying to cut, or what is that thing for you that you game?
It depends what I'm doing. So like when I'm bulking and trying to get big, it was getting the exact amount of calories at the exact split I wanted doing the vertical diet. And then just my whole day was built around fitness and my whole night was built around it too. Like my plans would never mess up a workout or a meal. If I traveled, the meals would be in my trunk. You know what I mean? Like, and I would when I would go see my dad, I'd bring ingredients to cook. I'd cook. I'm like, you're eating what I eat. You know, like nice. There's no way you're gonna eat what you want to eat. Like I didn't have. I don't think I had a girlfriend right then for some of that, and so like I didn't have anybody around me with bad habits either, and nothing came into my household that I didn't personally purchase at the store. And I see people like, oh, you go to the store and you go get this, and it's like, no, I would go to the store and I would be so disciplined. The discipline was the big part. I'd also kind of I don't think Derek took it as seriously when I said it, but I kind of made a vow to Derek. I was like, I'm about to show my ass. Like, watch me. Like, I'm going to do something here. And I when I would want to quit, I'd be like, can't let Derek down. Can't let Derek down. He's expecting something out of me. And, you know, like,
meanwhile, Derek's like, I don't care.
Derek's like, I'm building the largest supplement company in North America. I don't
Kyle
give a
thinks
shit.
I'm thinking about him.
Yeah, I keep lifting, champ. Just texting
him. To be fair, like it's not as funny, but Derek really was hands-on with that whole thing and super cool. Like he would be we would talk the whole like body transformation.
You're aware
thing.
of Kyle's fitness journey, right? You saw that pictures.
I mean, I saw how freaking jacked he was. Like,
yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that was a whole program. I did that in 10 months.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought it was like, hey, this is my new thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was. But working with Derek, he would send me these 10-minute long voice notes that of like every little thing to dial in, you know, from the blood work to the supplements. And
dude, if the person I loved the most in the world or was the biggest fan of, like if the Blues head coach left me a 10-minute long voicemail, I'd be like, like
oh no, man. No, I'd be sitting there like fucking dialed in, one
like he's dictating the Bible.
Yeah. Because he's such an expert. When you talk to someone who's a genuine expert about something, it's a good idea to smarten up and listen, you know, because you're absorbing years of experience and hundreds of thousands of dollars in education sometimes for free. So you should really open your
Yeah.
ears. And so I tried to, and I know I'm not like a health and fitness expert. Like I couldn't diagnose someone who's got their own issue and guide them through a fitness journey, but I know how to do it to me now, and I know how to do it to, like, I don't know, a 35, any mid 30s man, I guess now. Like it's he's an absolute expert, and it was fun to have him be that hands on. And then the other side of it was the cutting, because I bulked for 10 months and then I cut weight for 2, and that cut was so meticulous and careful.
Were you
and
just dehydrating, or what were you doing?
no, I was slowly lowering my calories while doing more and more cardio every day, and following a very precise weight cut. I wanted to lose
Why cut?
to look good for the pictures.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah, and also the way I had told Derek I wanted it structured, because that was something he was familiar with. I was like, I want to do this like I'm preparing for to go on stage, essentially. Like I want to do this like I'm preparing for a bodybuilding competition. That's what I'm trying to do here. And so that's what we did. The 10 months of bulking and then the 2 months of cutting, as if I was going to step on stage on the last day. And I kind of did. I
You
took
do
some
blood
selfies
work
in
and
my-
all that? Were you like,
Oh yeah.
yeah?
Yeah. He's got a TRT clinic, so I had 2 or 3 doctors sort of working with me and him, monitoring blood work and all that stuff.
Dude, my testosterone was like 1500 in like February, and they're like, we legally can't prescribe you. You don't need anything.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, what's funny is for me, like whenever I see that crease, I have it's time to do a fast. It's
Yeah.
the code for
yeah.
being anorexic, but it's great because I'll do like a shot of those ketones or whatever. And the first day is super easy for me. I'll eat dinner, and then by the time I get to lunch the next day, I'm already in ketosis. And then I make it to dinner, and I'm like, okay, for dinner, I'm going to have, Element has those chocolate flavored salt packets. I thought it was the worst tasting electrolytes because I'd mix it room temp or cold. It tastes like awful. But hot water, oh my God, it's like no calories. And so it was like I was drinking a shake for dinner. So for a 3-day fast, every night I would look forward to that as my meal. And it was so easy to do that. And then I would stay in ketosis for a few weeks, eating like ribeyes and avocados and stuff like that. And then I would ease back into like a Whole30 diet or something like that. And usually I can drop 30 pounds in 30 days doing that.
I was fasting every, I think, Thursday or Friday. So doing a 24-hour fast, on the same day every week for a while. I don't actually remember how long, months of that, during that cutting process. And then like I think there was a night where we did this show. We got off at 11 and I hadn't eaten for 24 hours, and I couldn't until like the next day. And then I had to go run for an hour at the gym at 3 in the morning.
It was funny to me because Kyle would weigh in and then give his metrics to Derek, and then he would determine his calories for the next week. So he would like cut every week, like dehydrate to hit a number on the scale so that Derek didn't remove more calories than he otherwise would have. He's like, I got to weigh 174 by the time I weigh in tomorrow morning. Otherwise, Derek's going to make me survive on 1,500 calories or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, you got to hit that number. Got to hit that number he wants us to hit, or I'm going to lose more calories or gain more. It would usually be either fewer calories or more cardio, or both. By the end, I was doing an hour of cardio a day, or maybe an hour and 15 a day, and eating 2,200 calories, I think.
What type of
Something
cardio?
like that.
Like running or?
I like the elliptical. I like the elliptical because I can turn my brain completely off, because you're kind of in a thing that doesn't require you to like have form. It just does form for you. And so I can kind of turn my brain off and maybe meditate a bit, and I can just go to another place. I try to go into a daydream, like a self-induced daydream during that for as much as possible, with like music playing in my like noise canceling headphones, and close my eyes and just let my body do it, but my mind goes somewhere else if I can. And I can make an hour feel like 30 minutes, but 30 minutes of cardio is so awful. 30 minutes of cardio is so awful.
I jump rope, I can make 90 seconds feel like 10 minutes. It's like planking or something.
Dude, I'll be on the exercise bike or the treadmill in my basement gym and put on King of the Hill to watch or something. And 5 minutes in my head, I'm like, oh, was this like a movie length special they made? Or it's like, no, just a regular episode and you're 6 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even the exhaustion. It's just, it's so much more boring than lifting weights.
Time is
because
relative.
at least with lifting weights, it's like I got a bunch of stuff that's gonna happen. Like it's not gonna be the same exercise for the entire hour and a half, whatever period.
Have you seen Rhonda Patrick talk about the Norwegian 4x4?
No, it sounds awful.
Well, so here's the thing is, I hate doing monotonous cardio, like you say. So what I'll do is the assault bike, and the Norwegian 4x4 is essentially 4 minutes, 3 minutes rest, 4 minutes, 3 minutes rest, and you go 80% max heart rate. And so you're
That's a lot, listening.
So for me, I get on the assault bike and I'm going 25, 30 miles per hour. So by the time I get down to, time on each round, I'm like, I can't go anymore. And then the 3 minute rest hits and then I can get back on. And I've found that my brain doesn't have time to get bored because I'm just struggling to stay in it. But it's not max heart rate, right? So you're not like 1 minute and done.
What is your max?
I honestly, I don't know.
I would, at the end of my cardio, I would try to stay at, like, I think 135 is where I would try to keep my heart rate for like the full hour. Like, and I really kept that dialed in, and I would get lazy. I'm like, as long as my heart's doing the work, that's all that matters here. And, but at the end, I would try to crank it up to just as high as I could get it. I would turn the machine. And I was like, I want to get it as high as I can get it. And then I would walk laps around the gym until my heart rate went to below whatever the level is, below 115, 110, until I had actually cooled down to try to like get extra calories. I would send y'all pictures. I think my heart rate would be in the 180s or something.
Really?
It was like 179, maybe 180, something like that.
I was younger than you, but when I was in college, my heart rate got super high, like 235, 245.
Wow.
Shit.
Yeah. And like people didn't believe me, because we after the like between sets, the coach would ask us to call out our pulse, and it was always whatever 115, 135. I'm like 240, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, you measure it, and then they did, and they got the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I'll strap on that fucking chest thing. It's all true. I don't know. Is that like cardiac arrest? I'm not sure what's happening here. Like 220 is the max, but not for me.
I remember the like Ryan Reynolds and Blade. Is it Trinity or whatever? And then all like everyone's like, like you see like Men's Health, and then they're on the cover, and it's like, what did he do? How did he train? He'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and run, and he'd eat like 6,000 calories, and it's like all of these articles missed the main ingredient, juice. Like,
they always
they always did, and I was just so naive as a kid.
You've seen Derek's videos, right? More plates, more dates.
I haven't. I know who.
So
he is.
that's what he does. All right. So he has two sort of personalities to his channel. One is to like please the masses, which is like popcorn steroid talk, where it's like he looks at a movie transformation that someone does, like Brad Pitt getting in shape for Troy or something, and he talks about whether he thinks it's naturally possible based on time dated photos of before and after. Like, could he have put on this much muscle mass and look like this? And sometimes we'll be like, yeah, you could do that. Look, you got down lighting and he's all greased up and this and that and the angle. And then sometimes I was like, look, yeah, it's really fun.
Some people he's like, hey,
yeah, he gives the benefit of the doubt. Yeah,
he gives the benefit of the doubt a lot. I think sometimes he says this is possible when it's not probable, but that's just me, Derek.
Sure,
that's cool,
and you can sort of sense you get that a sense of that too.
Agreed. The other popcorn thing,
real? Yeah.
The other popcorn thing Kyle didn't mention is like people will do trend, for example, and apparently that makes your sex drive fucking wild. Like guys are turning bi, people go like they lower their standards on girls, and they're just like, I became a sex ed. So he'll read like Reddit comments about wild behaviors from some of the more extreme steroids, and that's a fun read too.
And he also has a very
other
side of the channel where he breaks things down on molecular levels, and He'll do product reviews. He's like, guanine? What is it? 2002? Get the fuck out of here with that. You know what guanine does to your cell walls, people? I'll tell you. That cytosine going nowhere. And he'll like go eat ingredient per ingredient, like talking about what's bullshit.
His
like,
content is like,
it's got it, but 0.2 milligrams, 14 milligrams is the dosage. 14
this is
milligrams.
on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Check it out.
You have 1/280th the correct dosage. What is this?
That's why all his products are efficaciously dosed. That's who we partnered with for Lock and Load.
Shut
That's
up.
why this shit
Shut up.
works. That's why it works.
Shit. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's all true. Like his whole thing, like his whole spiel in the products he sells or reviews is about whether or not they hit efficacious doses. So he'll read some like pre-workout and be like, 50 grams of creatine? They must think their customers are stupid fucks. And I'm like, I don't even know what the efficacious dose of creatine is. Like, I don't know. But he's like, I'm like, I guess I am a stupid fuck because I didn't know.
It's one of those channels that you can like start watching it where he's like, today we're going to talk about protein in the glutamate liver transcriptase process. And I'm like, interesting. And by the end of it, I'm like passing people on the street and I'm like, this fucking idiot doesn't know anything about the reverse transcriptase liver process. Like, the way I do.
Will you show a picture of the Delt God just so that Richard has some?
Not with the Death Star delts, with just so you could see the delts.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to be memed to see how big
a
this
true picture of
is.
his ridiculous deltoids.
He's known as the deltoid god of the internet. He's an absolute genetic freak for deltoids.
Derek?
I've got big deltoids. Derek has colossal deltoids. Like he is just like
Derek has, he has juiced himself up a bit.
He's on the right.
Haven't we all?
Jesus.
Not me.
Look at those delts, man. They're like bigger than.
He looks like one of those cows that has a pituitary gland problem.
He does. He should be grazing in a Belgian field somewhere.
But, so this, of course, is him all dried out and peaking. But every day he has ginormous bowling balls.
Can I just say, I don't think it is. I think that's just him at the gym with a pump because he's got his. I genuinely think that's him at the gym with a pump.
I don't think so because I once did a tweet and I was like, is this awesome or too much? And he did a response video to my tweet where he's like, I don't look like this,
wow,
etc. But
probably because y'all were all being fucking mean to her.
I was like that. Mean. This is before I knew him or anything, and I was just exercising, and I was like, is this awesome or too much? I was like, I don't know, making conversation on Twitter back when it was Twitter.
Make me feel better about myself.
Maybe that's what I was doing. I wasn't. Maybe.
Yeah, but it's subconscious. Don't worry about that.
But so back to Derek. Why lock and load? Why lock and load?
How did we come up with the thing?
Is that something you guys made with him?
Yes.
Or
So it was our idea. I had been doing my own like load stack already because I was taking about 28 pills a day or something like that. So I was like, what's 4 more? So I was adding in, soy lecithin and a few other ingredients to increase my load. And so we talked after a show one time. I was like, we should make and Taylor was too. I was like, we should make this product. We could do this. And I was like, do you want me to message Derek and see if he'll do this? And I was like, had to write the most awkward WhatsApp message ever as an open to Derek. Like, hey,
hi, acquaintance. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we were already going back and forth because of my weightlifting and diet and stuff. But it was just like, hey, silly question here, but what if we made a supplement that increased your load size? Maybe I was even saying your seminal fluid size or whatever I said. And I was like, is that crazy? And I expected him to be like, it's so silly. That'd probably make money, wouldn't it? Oh well, we'll never know. But he was like, I know a lot of guys who have load stacks themselves. I'll pick their brains. Let me get back to you around Tuesday, good? And I'll see what I can drum up. What are you on right now? Perfect. Yeah. Well, that's actually you could take more of that, and your liver will actually process just about as much as you. And absolutely. Just back immediately was on the ball and had he's like, I got some. He knew people to go to who had their own load stacks that they had, and he was going to ask them, and then he was down the rabbit hole of him sourcing ingredients and figuring out the price model and the efficacious dose and all that stuff. Yeah. And then guinea pig testing on us. We started and it was going to have to be like a pre-workout style multiple scoop thing. Like it's because you have to take so much of this stuff to be 100% effective. And I was like, dude,
yeah, no one's gonna make shakes out of this.
Nobody's gonna make like disgusting like fruity
So what
drinks.
is it?
It's pills. Pills.
Okay.
We got
How many do you
everything.
take?
9 a day.
5 in the morning and 4 at night. They're normal size capsules. And that's down from 18 or so. Like it was going to have to be 18. And then we found a way to get the efficacious dose and half that. And so we were like, all right, if we go any lower in pill requirement than this, it's not going to actually work. And at the end of the day, it has to actually work or people are going to just buy it as a novelty and never get it again.
Interesting. And so what's the result or the objective? Are you like increasing volume? Is it like viscosity?
Yeah, big tums. Well,
volume,
it helps with viscosity, pearlescence, pre-cum. Yeah, volume, pearlescence, pre-cum,
and length of orgasm. Because you just going and going. Okay,
that's true.
We're gonna.
Your cum is better. It feels better.
I was measuring my fluid output very carefully.
Yeah.
I would gas them into a condom and then I'd draw it out with a filthy syringe and then take exacting measurements. And it was like 3.5 fold. It's like 350% as much. Yeah. It's an absurd amount that you actually do come when you take them. It's almost like a fucking gag gift for your girlfriend more than anything. It's absurd.
Dude, you guys have the promo stack with your ads, like Stack Blue Chew and this.
We know our client base.
What's the timeline on that? Do you take it for a week, for a month to see the results, or what?
Within 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, it's a month supply bottle. So, and within 2 weeks, you may not be at your peak yet in 2 weeks. In fact, you probably won't within 2 weeks, but you will be. I've said
there'll be noticeable differences.
Like, I've said before, like you won't have to be thinking about it. Like you will come at some point when you're fucking or whatever you're doing, and if you've been taking it for about 2.5 weeks, you'll just organically, not even thinking about it, be like, "Oh fuck, that was a lot of cum."
What the fuck?